figured I'd wait until the beginning of the year, figure out, see what the ARK Innovation Fund did for 2021. If you caught some of our previous episodes by myself or with Kane, we talked about maybe she got a little bit lucky, had that big pop, and then throughout the year things kind of dwindled, and she was the go-to person for all the news channels about, market advice. But I've not seen a lot of people in 2 decades as an investor consistently kind of like Jedi the market, like Warren Buffett. You realize there's just one Warren Buffett. And I'm not giving financial advice in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I do here, just making some comments. But I saw this little quote here that so that drops another 4% as Cathie Wood calls markets irrational. Look, I will agree with you 1,000%. You look at what's going on with supply chain issues, staffing shortages, the virus, housing bubbles. Pretty much every asset class is in a bubble. Things are sold out. Things are overpriced. Luxury goods everywhere. You can't find Lambos. You can't find Rolexes. Things are just sold out everywhere you go. And then you look at all the headwinds we have. Inflation, crazy inflation, right? All the issues with what's going on in the workforce. Yeah, the markets make no sense. So the problem is, I think that if the markets were more rational, that she would potentially be down way more than she is now. So I didn't click on that article, but I just have a feeling. We look at this chart over here, looking at, here's a 5-year, let's go 1 year. Yeah, not looking good. I mean, man, you're $1.50 there. I want to say, if I recall, there was a sale or a spinoff. There was something that caused it to rapidly increase. I don't remember what the deal was. There was something that happened, and then it shot up, and then it just kind of faded. If you look at it, the averages peaks out. It kind of looks like, in my mind, anyways, if you know what, like what an audio compressor does, if you were like compressing down these peaks, it feels like this stock's like 110, 105. That feels like, right here is where you feel that would average out. But man, boom, down we go again. This might be one of those funds that I look at, a few years from now, maybe this year, depending on what happens, that if it really gets crushed, then I'm going to take a look at it. But looking at the 5-year, for example, I mean, here's the 2020 dip, okay? So, I mean, I don't know, man. This trajectory, if you follow, this is up. Maybe this was like the new line going this way. Follow my mouse pointer. Like maybe going like this if you drew a line. So you feel like this thing's probably, if it, regressed to the mean type of thing with a little bit of a spike, 75, 80 bucks. I don't know. Just seemed artificial. But you see a lot of the market, it boomed last year. We came out of this. We came rip-roaring, $5-6 trillion printed. Markets boomed. Some mergers and acquisitions happened. Markets rocking. Things got, stayed kind of puffed up. More money pumped into the system. And then I feel like we're slipping back into reality, where people are paying their rents, they're paying their mortgages, going back to paying school loans at some point here. Things are getting more realistic again. I think this, as I call it, the froth on top of a beer, a lot of this just happened in the whole market because of the amount of money that was pumped into the system. So I don't know. You look at this, even if this thing went sideways from right here, you're still looking at 50, 60 bucks. So, anything under 75 bucks, I think I might start looking at this thing, which, I mean, we're not far off, right? We're dipping down to 98. We'll see. I've seen so many of these people come and go where they got lucky one time. And I don't want to call it lucky. Maybe it was an extremely smart play. I don't know nothing about most of these people I'm even commenting on. The thing I do know is very few people can keep picking winners over the course of 10 or 15 or 20 years. That's why I'm always so skeptical every time I see the new hedge fund manager pop up. I knew anybody that seems to have all the answers. They don't. Very few people can consistently just pick winning anything over decades. anyone, it's like baseball, any sport. Someone has one hot year, and then they ride that hot year for the next 5 years, even though they're terrible. And there's always someone out there that says, well, they did it that one time. Yeah, they did it that one time, and that's probably all they'll ever do. I'm not saying that's what she's going to do here. But it's one of those things where consistency matters. What is your track record? And even then, just because you did it yesterday doesn't mean you're going to do it tomorrow. The only way you're going to know if they're capable of doing it tomorrow is if they do it. And it's just one of those things. So, I don't know. So what's the whole market doing here? Let's take a quick peek at what's going on. I mean, this thing's bounced back. It was like a bloodbath this morning, if I remember. But I guess not too bad at the moment, anyways. I'm curious looking at this 5-year chart. Let's do a 1-year chart. So, yeah, we got to do a 5-year to see the thing. Do we see a similar trend here? We had the dip. This thing was on a path to probably go right about here if this thing stayed on trend. So it feels like we're probably, I don't know, 20% overpriced right now. If this is the apex, like a lot of times I saw in the market like this curvature happens where, things are hot, but cooling, things are hot but cooling, they're mild. And then they start to like trail off, right? Doesn't mean it won't start shooting back up, but this makes you think possibly the bull run's over. But, Jamie Dimon's out there, I thought, over here saying more, Bitcoin's down more. Everything's getting slaughtered today. Jamie Dimon's over here talking about sees the best economic growth in decades. So I don't know, did he mean last year or does he mean this coming year? Stock market and economic growth is two different things. The stock market could tank and we could see growth, I guess, but I just wonder, is this it? Is this the best we're going to do here? Look at it, 5 years. Oh, that's just on the composite. Yeah. I don't know. Well, can this go on forever, or is this kind of drop back down? We'll see. Anyways, something that you probably heard if you listened in before, something Kane and I talked about. Just curious to see what, that fund ended up doing, and I'm not sure who's surprised. One thing that kind of made it pop, and you start looking like it's going to be the best thing ever, and then you track a 5-year chart and had that peak, and then it's like a bloodbath. But, you get in here and you get back on that track record. I don't know, what would the return be? Sideways returns. I just feel like a lot of the stuff, if I recall, when I was reading about, the stuff she's interested in, they're long-term payoffs. So it's one of those things like where sometimes being too early is just as wrong as being wrong, I guess. I said that all wrong. Being early, sometimes that's ain't a good thing. You spend years sitting on these things and you could have been making money somewhere else. But anyways, if you got some thoughts on this fund, or something else, what's a comparable? What's something in innovation, AI, all that fun stuff that you think's comparable or better? Drop a comment below. Until then, I'm going to catch you on the next one.